Welcome to the Fifth and Goal Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Aaron, Josh, and Jonny.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. We are just rolling right along in the sports calendar. March Madness is done. The Masters is done. We roll right into NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, NFL draft. We're not slowing down at all. Thanks for being here. Just real quick before we dive into the show, which will contain basically all of the things I just listed. A reminder, you can catch us on your favorite podcast platform. You can also watch this show each Wednesday on the YouTube channel, the Fifth and Goal Podcast YouTube channel, which is new. So go check that out and subscribe while you're there. Jonny, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Sun is out, so I'm happy. Can't beat it. It feels like perfect golf weather, as we talked about last week. I don't golf, nor should I really ever be allowed near a golf course / club, but it is perfect golf weather out there for all of you celebrating the Masters. Still on the tail end.
It is. I'm planning on hitting the driving range tomorrow to take off the rust of my game, which the problem is my game is all rust. So what? I don't know what'll happen, but that'll be good. I'm hitting the range newly inspired by watching Rory win a second straight Masters. Josh, what's going on?
I'm doing great. I am currently learning the Jeopardy do music so that I can play you guys off when it comes time for our draft.
Yeah, well, let's roll right into it because we'll talk Masters during picks of the week because that's what we picked last week. We'll talk even a little bit of basketball, like by a little bit, I mean like 30 seconds because that was like 2 weeks ago at this point. But yes, Josh, what we're going to do is we're doing an alternating NFL mock draft between myself and Jonny. So what's going to happen is I get the first pick in the draft and I will draft as the Las Vegas Raiders. Then it goes to Jonny for the New York Jets, then back to me for the Arizona Cardinals, and so on and so forth. We're going to do the first half of the first round tonight. We're going to do the second half of the first round next week. And then the following week, we just have the actual NFL draft, and we'll have some coverage on that. So stay tuned to our social media channels for more info when we release it. But yeah, Josh, you're going to be our MC, our host. Maybe you're the commissioner, so I don't know if we should just start this segment by booing you.
Please boo
I don't know.
me.
But yeah, you'll run things, keep us on track. If one of us just goes on a 10-minute rant about why the New Orleans Saints, are dumb or whatever, I don't know. You know how we are.
I'll be guilty of that.
I'll give you that
now,
10 minutes.
so
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Play me off the stage like at the Oscars. Just
That's right.
All right. Welcome to the 2026 Fifth and Goal Sports Mock Draft.
Woo!
It's good to see you all. I am, of course, the Fifth and Goal Sports Network commissioner. Josh?
How expensive is that network? Are we charging people like $50 a month?
Hey, no, $50 a month is just to get the privilege of blackouts in your own city.
and then 3 streaming services after that to watch.
Right.
Everything is
different
streaming
content.
on Victory Plus, except for the games that you care about.
That's right.
And when I say you, I mean you personally. Part of our data is figuring out what games you are personally interested in and blacking those out specifically.
Yeah,
man.
With the first pick in the Fifth and Goal NFL mock draft, we have the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yes, we do.
I'm doing a great job over here. It's fine.
I will not need to use all 8 of my minutes on the clock for this because this pick for the Raiders was pretty much set when the fourth quarter ended of the national championship game. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback of Indiana, is going to be the pick here. It's not even a question of will the Raiders pick him, even though there's a couple analysts out there like, well, what about this guy, just to make some views. It's going to be Mendoza. I think the real question is, here's the stat, guys, that I think is interesting. The last quarterback taken number 1 to reach the age of 30 with the team that drafted him is Matthew Stafford with the Detroit Lions. So as we go, like it's been a while to see a number 1 quarterback actually stick with their team for a long, long time.
Get there.
Yeah. Will Mendoza get there? I hope so. I hope it works out well. He's not supported with the best cast right now, but pick number 1's easy. We'll dive into that in a couple of weeks when he's actually a Raider, but he's a Raider. Fernando Mendoza, number 1.
And at least, they got they at least started investing in that offensive line, Aaron, if you're the Raiders. Number 2 pick, New York Jets. Listen, it's along with the Browns, the Jets are just the definition of awful. Just lost in obscurity forever. What are you doing if you're the New York Jets? It's Aaron Glenn, year 2. You just need good players. And the Jets have 2 picks in the top 16 this year. So this is best player available time. Do they need a quarterback? Absolutely. But this roster is not even ready for a young quarterback. This is a year where you almost just give up in the sense of making the playoffs, things like that, just to set the roster, set the table for next year's quarterback draft that you can go after. Who's the best player available at number 2? Highest ceiling, maybe not highest floor, highest ceiling is Arvell Reese, Ohio State linebacker / edge rusher. He's going to be playing both. Guy I respect a ton in NFL draft circles. Daniel Jeremiah says, high end, he's Micah Parsons. That's high praise, and you'd absolutely take that if you're the Jets, that you can set the table, start developing in the trenches with a guy, freak athlete like Arvell Reese.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Buckeyes that go in the top 10. We've already had our first. The Cardinals are in an interesting spot. They're like the Jets, where I think their biggest needs are quarterback and offensive line, offensive tackle specifically. The issue is, I don't know if there's a quarterback. I know there's not a quarterback, but I also don't think there's necessarily an offensive tackle that's worth pick number 3. I could be talked into them needing an edge rusher. So in my mock, I've got David Bailey going to the Jets at number 2. So I'm going to take him here at number 3. He was extremely productive at Texas Tech. Now, you could, if you really want to nitpick this, you could say, well, look at the players he had around them, including linebacker Jacob Rodriguez, who won just about every single award that you can win in college. But the measurables are great if you're into that kind of thing. I think he could be really productive. It's an area of need because, frankly, for this team, for the Cardinals, everything's an area of need. So I'm going to go David Bailey for the Cardinals at number 3, even though, you could have a Sonny Styles sitting there, and that's going to be the conversation is, do you want kind of a prototypical edge rusher, or do you want the hybrid do-it-all Sonny Styles, or even a Caleb Downs? For this mock draft, I'm going to say David Bailey goes number 3.
Aaron, and that's where it is. And people say that this draft starts... They're saying at like number 3. I argue at 2. Yeah. In my mock, I think the Jets are taking David Bailey. And I think I understand. They've had far too many risky picks in the recent drafts with high ceilings, low floors, and they're whiffing. David Bailey is much more of a sure thing than Arvell Reese, mostly because you don't know exactly where to put Arvell Reese on an every down. He can play. He's a fantastic football player, but where do you put him? Kind of have to develop the defense around him a little bit. So that'll be an interesting conversation. Cardinals, I had taking an offensive tackle because, man, that O-line's terrible. Bad. Again, they have no quarterback really to speak of, but no quarterback's going to succeed behind that offensive line. Another team every team can use another offensive lineman. Who are we talking about? But Aaron, you really messed up my mock. But if he's here, and this is not what I think will happen or what the Titans would end up doing, I think they need to take Francis Maui-Noa from Miami, their offensive tackle, because they need to protect Cam Ward far better. Yes, everybody's going to be saying Jeremiah Love, and I think that's probably what ends up happening here at 4. But I would take Francis Maui-Noa if the Cardinals don't take him at 4, because you need to build up that offensive line. The offensive line's not even ready for Jeremiah Love right now. So I would actually fortify the front lines. Maui-Noa was fantastic. Big reason why the Hurricanes made the run in the playoffs, defeating the Buckeyes, defeating Ole Miss, and nearly taking out Indiana was because Carson Beck was clean in that pocket.
Yeah, he's an absolute stud.
You can't be referencing playoff losses by Ohio State. I'm sorry.
You're done.
And I think I did just a bad enough job
of Maui-Noa's name there into the show notes for the
I'm
Tennessee
not.
Titans.
I can pretend like I know which vowels go where. We all know, based on that butchering of the Jeopardy song, that I'm not going to be able to do that. So,
all right. Well, that takes us to the New York Giants, who I think if this plays out, the first 4 picks the way we have it, they're going to just be elated with whatever pick they get at number 5. And I'm so torn because I can go a million different ways. I think here's where I'm at. Caleb Downs is an unbelievable player. You've got John Harbaugh now with the New York Giants. Who did John Harbaugh have with the Baltimore Ravens? He had Kyle Hamilton, a game-changing player at that position. There are not many. Just look at what a safety is paid, Kyle Hamilton included, compared to other positions. I think he's going to look at Caleb Downs, the playmaker that he is, the plays he can make all over the field, the character this guy has, the leadership, extremely productive for Ohio State. He's a national championship 2 years there. He was the leading tackler at Alabama his freshman year. And I know Sonny Styles is sitting there at 5, which is almost assuredly not going to happen, but someone's going to have to drop out of the top 5. So I'm going to say because of that, Kyle Hamilton connection, he sees something similar. The New York Giants go with Caleb Downs, pick number 5. I think they probably in reality would go Sonny Styles, but I just can't get over the Giants picking Caleb Downs. Like it just that Harbaugh, like having a great safety. I can't get that out of my head.
Aaron, the interesting thing is that yes, the defenses are focal points of those guys, but physically the guys are actually very different.
Yes.
Which is interesting to see. Kyle Hamilton is wide, rangy. I think he's 6'3". And Caleb, everybody keeps talking about, he's small. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. He's great. Anyway, Josh is playing me off.
We're talking about John Harbaugh too much. We're giving him too much credit.
With the Browns at 6, I have them, and I think what's going to happen, and we keep saying this, best wide receiver on the board, and it's really not even close, is Carnell Tate. They have 0 weapons. It is really hard to find out even if the quarterbacks are anything. They have no one to throw to. No one to throw to right now. And I know the offensive line still needs fortified. You'd be reaching right now at 6 if Maui Noah's gone to take another offensive lineman. You shouldn't be doing that. I know Jeremiah Love's there and that's tempting, but you just drafted 2 running backs. That's not a need at all if you're them. I think if Sonny Styles is sitting there though, man, how difficult would that be for them not to not take him? But I'm going to stick with Carnell Tate. Wide range. He's able to go high point the ball. He's a quarterback's best friend on the outside, a big target to throw the ball up on. You don't need to be perfect. He'll make you right, even when you're a little off with your throw.
I like that. The Washington Commanders have the 7th pick in the draft. I think had Sonny Styles not been available, I think this is a prime location for Jeremiah Love to go. Imagine just the pairing of Jaden Daniels and Jeremiah Love. That will cover up some problems because Love's unbelievable. But look, Sonny Styles is available at 7. It's a need that the Commanders have. He falls into their lap. I know if you're a fan, you're like, oh my gosh, we're going to get Jeremiah Love. But Sonny Styles may just really help bridge the gap between last year's disaster and what you had 2 years ago. So I got to go Sonny Styles with the Washington Commanders. And yet another Buckeye, if you're counting, that's 4 of the top 7 are Buckeyes. And that's not, it is crazy, but our mock draft is not crazy in that sense. That's reality here going into this draft in a couple weeks.
Aaron, and that Washington defense was awful.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously, when your quarterback's out for the season, you're not going to succeed. But that Commanders defense was porous. It was awful, and it was bad right down the middle. So Sonny Styles makes up for a lot of that. That changes a lot. I don't think he's available at 8, but it's also not insane to think he is. And if he is at number 8, Alvin Kamara is getting up in age. You need a game changer. You need somebody to help out Shuck, your young quarterback. Jeremiah Love's the answer here if you're the Saints. You can get back to a run-first offense to keep Shuck healthy and set the table a little bit here and have some star power, rejuvenate the room a little bit. The Saints were almost worse than the Jets in the sense of nobody even paid attention to them last year. They just were off in the periphery. I think with this offensive duo here, you really can kind of get back a little juice in the room. I know there's a lot of needs. The Saints will have to address them later on as they're finally getting salary cap healthy.
Yeah, they did sign Travis Etienne, but I think, if he's available, you take him. And maybe if nothing else, New Orleans, you take him for the sake of the rest of the NFL, because who's picking at number 9? It's the Kansas City Chiefs, who I think with Love, and I don't like, they're probably not taking him because now they have Kenneth Walker, but still, just the threat of him being there is a little scary. I think that the Chiefs are going to bolster that offensive line. I think that's what's going to happen here. There's, at this point, they're in a spot where they can make a sexy pick. They can take a wide receiver. You've got a couple really good ones out there. But I think they play it safe, safe, so to speak. And I think they go Spencer Fano, just to shore up the offensive line. It's another piece they can take. That offensive line's getting a bit up there in age, or at least it has over the last couple of years. So I think it's a kind of a no nonsense, just, assuming Patrick Mahomes is healthy. And that's the thing too. Like, if there was ever a year to really make sure you protect him, it's now. So add as many pieces to that offensive line as you can if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs. So give me Spencer Fano, offensive tackle from Utah. Apparently during the combine, he was even taking like some snaps at center just to like say, hey guys, I can do this too, apparently. So the hope is that he's a versatile player, but I like him for the Chiefs.
And there's a good, track record of offensive linemen from Utah too. So Aaron, that's a great pick for the Chiefs there. And yes, I hope Jeremiah Love's not sitting there for him. That is a nightmare situation.
Yeah.
At 10 with the Bengals, Aaron already took my dream scenario. I am praying for Caleb Downs to be here at 10, which I know he went at 5 in our mock draft. There is a legitimate chance he is there at 10. This, after the first couple picks, is all different kinds of shuffling the board. Yep. When you look at any mock draft, there is no real consensus after that. Maybe the Browns with Carnell Tate. Other than that, it is all over the place. So the Bengals, I'm going to be satisfied with this pick. Maybe not absolutely thrilled, but I'll be really satisfied because he was extremely productive and a one-man game wrecker. And that's Reuben Bain Jr. from Miami for the Bengals at number 10. The trenches are awful, especially defensively. The Bengals should basically use every single pick on the defense this year, unless they see an offensive lineman that they absolutely love that is undervalued. Go get him. Other than that, that defense just doesn't even have enough talent. Reuben Bain, one-man game wrecker on the edge for Miami, extremely productive. I don't care about his arm length. I know that doesn't not matter, but that is not going to affect him being a solid asset at defensive edge. Maybe he's not Myles Garrett, but I think he's going to be extremely productive. And he also did not need to get taken off the field in first and second down to stop the run. He was outstanding run and pass defense on the line. So Reuben Bain.
Is this a minor key version of Jeopardy, Josh?
I have a chord button on my MIDI controller, and it's all minors.
That's crazy.
And that's so. Doesn't that sound so good?
Yeah,
I reharmed. That's a reharma, guys.
Yeah, it is.
I'm jazzed now.
Josh, I'll speed this one up for you because the Miami Dolphins are on the clock at 11, and they have the worst wide receiver room right now in the league, probably by far, partially because they traded Jalen Waddle. This is a team with a ton of needs. They got to go wide receiver here, especially because two guys, Mekhi Lemon and who am I missing here that hasn't been picked? Jordan Tyson. Those are the two that haven't been picked. I think they're going to go Lemon. Tyson could end up being the best wide receiver of this class, to be honest with you, but there were some injury concerns. So I think they're looking for a safe player. Mekhi Lemon, I think, checks that box for them. Give me Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver from USC to the Miami Dolphins.
And if that happens, the Cowboys are thrilled because they're worried about the Dolphins poaching a secondary player right before them. So if that happens, I think the Cowboys... There's a big debate between Mansour Delane and Jermod McCoy being the top corner of this draft, with Jermod McCoy being injured a lot of this last year. I think it's going to be Jermod McCoy for the Cowboys. He's corner out of Tennessee. He was absolutely outstanding. That defense was not the same this year for the Volunteers without him to hold down a side of the field. He's outstanding, and the Cowboys have to get young and cheap on defense. They're another team. Expect all their draft to be defensive focused.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought even if Reuben Bain's still available, that just seems like a Cowboy, to be honest with you. At pick number 13, we have the Los Angeles Rams. Look, the Rams were the second best team in the NFL last year. The Super Bowl is at SoFi Stadium this year. Matt Stafford is back. This is your year, Rams. So, where maybe in the years past you would go offensive tackle because that's a need. You have now Trent McDuffie in your back and your defensive backfield. This is a kind of home run swing for the Rams that they're going to take at 13, and they're going to go with wide receiver Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. Like I said, I love this guy. He is a great competitor, super, super talented. Watch the end of his 2024 season. It was unbelievable before injuries kind of hampered him in 2025. Who knows what's going on with this Puka Nacua stuff? Like, I don't know what that brings into next year. So maybe wide receiver is more of a need than we thought, a couple months ago. So give me that for the Rams. They're making the Super Bowl push. Just one more weapon for Matt Stafford to try and get over the hump of what is the NFC West.
It's interesting, Aaron. Yeah, like what do you do? And they know more about obviously Puka than we do. So that
right.
If they don't pick a wide receiver, it's probably because they feel good about Puka being back and ready for the season. It just depends. Ravens are interesting at 14. You lose your center in Linderbaum. And, Lamar's hurt again this past season. So I expect him to go back to offensive tackle. So I have Monroe Freeling from Georgia. This is a reach. It is a reach. This draft is not a strong one when it comes to tackles. It's deep, but it's not great at the top. Monroe Freeling, Georgia, offensive tackle. I think that is where the Ravens are going to go. They're going to try to refortify that offensive line, get back to the trenches and focus there. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a Mesidor from Miami go here, though. He just seems like a Raven, and that would be classic Baltimore in that situation. But if I were them, I would refortify that offensive line. I'd also be praying that Spencer Fano would fall to me at 14, which is feasible. But the strength of this draft is definitely at edge when it comes to these teams and linebacker and corners.
At risk of Josh playing Jeopardy music, can I give you a really hot take pick?
It's okay. I'm going to find another chord automation.
Here's my hot take that I don't think the Ravens will do, but I think people will lose their minds if they do. The Ravens currently have 2 tight ends on their roster, and one of them is an aging Mark Andrews. Could Kenyon Sadiq go here from Oregon?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And if you don't know about this guy, he ran his 40 time. He reached the same top speed as Jahmyr Gibbs did, and he's like 50 pounds heavier at tight end. So that's an interesting one. But you mentioned the name because Akeem Mesidor does not go to the Rams, does not go to the Ravens. The Buccaneers are in bad need of some pass rush. They really just had no pass rush outside of them blitzing like 6 or 7 players. So easy. It's a Florida guy already, like Miami. Like that just also kind of makes sense.
Major 11. Everything's a major 11.
I hate that. And so that way Josh is done playing and the clock has ended. Buccaneers take Akeem Mesidor from Miami.
There's a few teams at 16 ahead of the Jets that are looking for wide receivers, and Aaron obviously mentioned them. I think Aaron, you did not say Mekhi Lemon, did you?
Yeah, he's gone.
Shoot.
The Dolphins went to 11.
Oh, okay. In that situation, I think the right pick here for the Jets is to trade back.
Correct.
But we're not doing that in this situation. But this is a classic Browns-Jets situation where you just need a lot of really good players. You would actually be great to trade back and get a couple second-round picks instead of sticking at 16 here if you are the Jets. But you are the Jets, and you need lots of really good players. And if Mekhi Lemon's not there, I think this is a bit of a reach for Omar Cooper Jr., even though you need a wide receiver. So I'm actually looking at Peter Woods from Clemson, defensive tackle for the Jets. This is a little higher than a lot of people have, but I think he looks worse because Clemson didn't meet their expectations this season. And that is not necessarily an indictment on one player or a couple players. There's several Clemson players in this draft that could be at great market value because they are better than what they will be selected at because the team did not achieve what they should. But when you are at defensive tackle or edge or football in general is a team sport because you're so reliant on the players around you. So I think Peter Woods is far more valuable than what he's getting credit for. And I think he would be a huge add on the line for the Jets. And just let's it's a defensive coach in Aaron Glenn. Let's build up this defense. Let's get nasty in the trenches.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Mansour Delaney is a name that we did not mention in our top 16, but would also make a ton of sense to go here to the Jets, who obviously don't have Sauce Gardner, and that's actually why they have that second first-round pick at number 16. When we come back next week, the Detroit Lions will be on the clock with pick number 17. I will tell you who I would like them to take based on the list that we have here. Josh, I like your description, New York Jets. Either go away, trade back, or Peter Woods.
Oh, no, sorry. That's not trade back. That's cease.
Cease to exist.
Stop.
Move the
Get
team.
some help. Try.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Relegated to the Big East.
Relegation. That's what I meant.
Josh, if we're moving the New York Jets, like if they're like just take the team out of New York and throw it somewhere else, where are you putting them?
I am putting them. I'm trading them with the Aviators.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I
Can
know.
we get a different name?
Yeah.
But Ohio First and Flight, or whatever, the birthplace of aviation. Sorry, First and Flight, North
Not
Carolina.
the right city.
Am
I being too
I'm sure
nitpicky?
the right. Well, then yes, we move the Jets to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Okay, then we
There's
call
a
them the
hangar-
Triangles
there's a
because
hangar
that's the
there.
original NFL franchise, the Dayton Triangles.
Dayton Triangles. And
We're
every
back,
Jets
baby.
fan has to. Oh, honestly, keep the Jets name. Moving
It kind of works.
kind of works.
Yeah.
Can the mascot be a triangle? That's my compromise. We keep the Jets name, but we have a secondary mascot that's a triangle. I broke Josh.
Yep. It's over.
Oh, that's fine. I was trying to get a really crunchy chord and it didn't work. That's bad. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Listeners, hey, if we set a team that you root for and we set a player who is going there, let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know in podcast comments, YouTube comments, wherever you're watching or listening. Let us know who you would like your team to pick at their respective spot, or if you would like them to move to Dayton and become the Triangles. That's an option for your comment as well. So round two, well, not round two, the second half of round one coming up next week.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. I will have a
real
week
quick.
to mull over the Lions. Yeah, Josh, go ahead.
Sorry, this is more mechanical. Who did you guys have for Ravens and Bucks? I was researching how to make my chords all funny.
Freeling was for the Ravens,
Yep.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And the
and
Buccaneers are
Mesidor's
going
the
to take.
Buccaneers.
Yeah. Yep.
You
All right,
said-
Josh, while you're punching that in,
Wait,
I
say
will
that
go
again.
ahead
So
and
sorry.
Mesidor. Hakeem
Mesidor for the
Mesidor.
Rams. Got you.
No, sorry, Buccaneers.
Oh,
Or
Bucks.
Mesidor.
All right. And then who'd you have for the Rams then?
Rams going wide receiver Jordan Tyson, Arizona State.
Yep. All right. I'll spell those correctly later when I'm in the mood.
Yep. So NFL draft a couple weeks away. A couple days away is the NBA play-in tournament and also the NBA playoffs and also the NHL playoffs. We're going to mostly focus on the NBA playoffs today. Jonny, here, I guess I'll start with this. Detroit's number 1 seed in the East. The Cavs number 4. Are we preparing ourselves for that potential second round matchup? Are you there? Like, are you as a Cavs fan? You're like, okay, Raptors, no big deal. We're good. See ya in Detroit. Like, where's your headspace at with this Cavs team?
I mean, it's not LeBronto anymore. If LeBron was on the team, yes. It's a quality Raptors team that's bounced back a little quicker than I think most people expected. They've done a really good job. Smart draft, smart free agency. I think they're just a little too young, not ready yet. You know, everybody knows I'm very pessimistic about the ending of this Cavs season. It doesn't end in the first round. And it doesn't matter who's playing Detroit. I know Cunningham, has missed so much time as of late. I think that will be detrimental to Detroit, but not in round 1.
Yeah, honestly, I think in the long term, it could actually be beneficial because I don't think we're going to have any problems with the 8 seed, but we'll see. Yeah, you're right. It was a handful of weeks with a collapsed lung of all things, which is crazy. Yeah, I feel good about the Pistons. I'll save my exact thoughts maybe until picks of the week. But there's just some storylines. I think one that's kind of taken over national media is what is going on with the Lakers. Because they were finally clicking. Like, you finally saw what a Luka Lakers team could look like. And then now Luka's on the other side of the globe, and so is Austin Reeves trying to get healthy. So minutes for Bronny, which is fun, but this time of year, you're not going for fun. You're going for lift some hardware.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, it's frustrating. Partially because I think everybody would have had the Lakers actually favored over the Rockets.
Yes.
A healthy Lakers team would and should be favored over the Rockets. Now, people are talking sweep. It would be a pretty phenomenal effort by LeBron at his age to be able to drag this Lakers team past the first round. It's really sad, but I have a hard time seeing a whole lot more than a gentleman's sweep here.
He's back in the States tomorrow or yesterday, if you're listening on Wednesday. And he's going to get reevaluated, Luka, that is. Does this mean that there's going to be an expedited recovery? No. To put it nicely, no. But it's not out of the question if you are one of those faithful, long-suffering Lakers fans.
Yeah, who have to wait 5 years for their title.
There are kids entering kindergarten who do not have memory.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the best games are going to happen in the West, but I think the more interesting storylines are actually in the East. I think the Knicks have no bench. Are they able to summon what they were last playoffs and just take off? They're going to be set potentially in the second round with Boston. Everybody's going to love that potential series.
I need that series to go forever.
Right. And Tatum, I know he's back, and I mean, hats off to him just to get back. I mean, he had to work his tail off to be back. Is he good? Like, the Celtics are obviously really solid even without him 100%, but they need him to be 100% to get past just, the first round matchup against a whatever play-in team that is, and to beat the Knicks and to beat, the Pistons or Cavs and get to the NBA Finals and have a chance. Like, he's got to be mostly himself because they lost a lot of depth off that team from last year. And in the playoffs, that's going to be noticeable when you go to your bench that Tatum just can't. Like, they're going to have to build leads more than they did before because their bench isn't going to do it for them. And that'll be interesting. And Jaylen Brown's really going to have to be the leader of this team, as he has been all year. But come playoff time, he's going to have to really remain the leader of that team. So that's quite interesting there in the East at the top. We're talking Cunningham, collapsed lung, like he wasn't able to even work out. It's a collapsed lung.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. Tatum coming back from a popped Achilles. The Cavs have been injured all season. Somebody's out. Who's clicking and who's healthy right here at the end? It really, I wouldn't be stunned of 4 of those teams in the East actually getting out, just because it's going to be about health and who's got that chemistry down the stretch.
Yeah. I mean, I have so much respect and then simultaneous hatred for the Celtics because like, you lose your best player in the playoffs. So the reaction is like, okay, let's sell off some pieces. Let's get under the, one of the levels of the luxury tax, whatever. And then here, we're the 2 seed with just as good a chance to win the East as anybody. And Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum's back and he's, dropping double doubles and, looks fine. And Jaylen Brown in the meantime has become the leader of the team. And now he's, MVP caliber. So, just ho hum, Boston Celtics, 57 wins, whatever that ended up being.
Always.
I respect it. Don't like it, but I respect it.
Right. Yeah. You have to a little bit.
Required.
No, but there's an interesting combination this year too, both in the East and the West, of very youthful teams. Are they ready? And veteran teams that have lost depth based on the new apron rules of the CBA of the NBA. That's the Celtics. That's the Nuggets. Are the young teams ready to step up? Spurs, Pistons, You could even throw the Raptors in there. Like,
Yep.
you know, like
Sure.
I don't think people are expecting, but the young teams in the playoffs that are like, wow, cool, they're here. Are they ready? And I think we have that. That's the talk. Even OKC, I literally know OKC just won the finals last year, but they're still so young.
Mhm.
And they got, you know, fortunate, not lucky, fortunate, you know, with some of the injuries last year. So I'm fascinated. It's just fascinating. We're in that in between period of which young team's ready, or are none of them ready?
Yeah.
And we're going to get a Boston Denver or you know, a Boston OKC again type of matchup in the finals. I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah, I am as well. Josh, we'll mention him here because we won't be mentioning them for another few months. The Dallas
Little while.
Mavericks, with their, you know,
Oof.
their brilliance in trading, you know who, are not even in the play-in tournament.
Nope.
But you know what? They're in place to get the number 1 overall pick again this year. So, you know, that's great. Great, exciting news.
Great exciting news. And here's the thing, because people are still excited about Cooper Flag, I still cannot afford tickets to get there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, I'm trying to get tickets to go see the Wings play, but everybody's all hyped on Page, and that's good. I'm glad. And I can't even get tickets to that without spending more money than I'm willing to, unless you guys, hey, viewers, if you want to give me some money, I can go to the game and cover it for you if you want. This is, you know, but like, other than that, I'm like, it's like $250 for like bad seats, which is great for the sport. And now I was also looking to see, because Angel Reese got traded.
WNBA draft tonight, by the way.
Literally,
Shout
Josh,
out.
I was about to say, as of 5 minutes ago,
Yeah.
Dallas drafts Azifa. No shock there from UConn. So even more
Running
reason to go
mates
to a
there.
We're
Wings
gonna have
game,
some fun.
and even more reason for those prices to maybe go up. But
Yes.
best of luck to you.
Yeah, I was trying to catch a Wings dream game because that's where Reese is now. I'm like, oh, let me see what the ESPN described Queen of Rebounding is about to do. It's really mean but funny. And yeah, everyone's and I'm glad they're so excited. But they're filling up that little arena so quickly now.
Yeah, shout out, by the way, Detroit, Cleveland, both getting WNBA teams back. So that's exciting.
Yes.
Actually, did Cleveland ever have one? I know Detroit's getting it back because they literally won a championship. I don't know if Cleveland has had a
I
team.
think Cleveland did.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, they used to have the Rockers.
Oh, that's right.
97 to 2003.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so that's NBA talk. We're going to continue it, but we're going to do that with some actual picks.
Sometimes the guys make picks based on their vast knowledge of sports. Sometimes they make picks based on vibes.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Maryland takes down Florida.
Chop this one up for the Gators. Chop a national championship for Florida.
Either way, they're probably going to be wrong. It's time for Picks of the Week.
Our current scoreboard is Season 5 Picks of the Week with 6 episodes left. Jonny with 12 points, Josh with 11, I've got 11. We didn't mention our scoreboard last week because we had Isaac Ramsey on. Go check out that episode if you missed it. But reason why there's no points is because, well, the NCAA tournament ended a couple of weeks ago. Michigan just kind of full domination on display. Now everyone's apparently just back. They're adding players from the portal. So Michigan easily going to be the odds-on favorite to win it again next year. So we'll see how that turns out. But last week we did our Masters picks. We did our draft. And while we did draft, I would say, fairly well for the most part with a couple of outliers, we did not, in our collective brilliance, in our 12 total picks in the draft Rory McIlroy, who did, you know what? And because we just assumed, because it hadn't happened in 25 years, that we wouldn't have a repeat champion. Well, folks, we had a repeat champion.
I'm not letting us off the hook, though. He was the odds-on favorite to win.
Yeah.
None of us.
And we just said, nah, we're good.
No, it's
We're
fine. We don't
good.
need that. None of us wanted to take the gimme. And that I'm proud of us I'm proud of us for sticking with what we believed to be a champion versus what literally everybody else who was putting real American money down was saying.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, what a wild ride for him. Like, he's won 2, Masters at this point, which is unbelievable. He's on a list of 4 people, and 2 of those people are Tiger Woods and Phil. I almost said Phil Mickelson. That's not right. And 2 Masters champions. So clearly it was smooth sailing. Like, the guy exits Friday with the largest lead after 36 holes in Masters history. The next day, gone instantly. The following day, 2-stroke lead or 3-stroke lead. 2-stroke lead going into the final hole. Shanks a ball into the woods. Like that. Like, even his wins are tortured sometimes. But good to see him win it again.
Yes.
Rory is really, after well documented many years of not winning it and some some collapses down the stretch. He can make history next year, and he's kind of already making history. You
know who's also made history? The New York Jets for holding out on an interception. We had a back-to-back Masters before the Jets had the idea of maybe catching the opponent's airborne ball.
Yes.
This is why I've said just disband, move to Dayton. Hey, how about this? What if we take the Zips and we move the Zips up to New York?
Okay.
New York Zips. I don't mind the name. And then Jets, they can take Akron.
Okay. So did the Zips become an NFL team?
So they'd have to work
the
up to it.
idea of a kangaroo mascot in New York as an NFL team. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. They still get the benefits of, well, here, Johnny, you would know this from relegation, promotion. Do you get an additional funding unlock? Do you get nothing? Cool. See, and
Are you saying if you drop?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, if you get promoted, is there any other than just
the
pride?
television rights? So you get more money because it's way more television revenue.
Yes, I want the city of Akron to get NFL, more NFL TV
to get
rights.
Relegated because you lose not all, because the championship has a television deal too. But Josh, it is basically going from the Big Ten to the back when it comes to television rights deal. So it's even a wider discrepancy, I believe. It's devastating to get demoted. Shout out Tottenham in relegation right now. Actually in the zone.
You guys are talking about how fun it would be to watch a Zips NFL team, and I get that. I raise you the New York Jets playing a Wednesday night football game in the middle of Massachusetts in November.
Oh.
Or Sacramento, apparently. We won't go there.
Yeah.
So, no picks of the week points have been distributed the last 2 weeks, nor will they be next week, because we're going to do some long-term picks. We're going to go ahead and give you all our NBA Finals picks. Gentlemen, I can start us because, Johnny, you talked about young teams like the Spurs, like the Pistons, who, by all accounts are on the brink of title contention. I think we're 1 year away. And I hope I'm wrong, because I'm a Detroit Pistons fan. This year has been unbelievable. It's the third ever 60-win season by the Detroit Pistons, the first since 2006, 2007. So literally 20 years ago. I want them to win the title so bad. That would be so great. I like this team so much. Cade's amazing. Jalen Duren's been unbelievable. The defense, it's just awesome. It's just a fun team to watch. I hope I'm wrong. But I think Oklahoma City, they've dealt with injuries. They've not quite been themselves at times this year. And they cruised without hardly trying to the NBA's best record. And the Spurs, I like that team a lot. Wemby is here. It's real. He can win a title this year. I think they're 1 year away. So I think Oklahoma City comes out of the West, and I think the Boston Celtics come out of the East, and I think the Thunder repeat in a close NBA Finals. I'll say 6 games. against the Boston Celtics. It's back-to-back for the Thunder, who still have about 27 first-round picks in the next 3 years.
One of the things that I like trying to do here is honoring the desires of Aaron and Jonny, who wants to pick a team but know that for moral or superstitious reasons, sometimes both, they cannot pick them. Which is why we are going to go with, when I say we, I mean the collective we of me, the royal plural, as it were. And I am going to take the young guns on both sides. I'm going to take Pistons over Spurs.
Let's go.
I'm going to take Pistons over Spurs. It's going to be fun. Like I said, I am with you, Aaron. I think Wemby's 1 year away. I will say, my goodness, whatever he did last off season.
Dude, he was hanging out with the shamans in Tibet.
He has found he has found an inner. I'm concerned. This is if you've ever seen the Key and Peele sketch of the two boxers about the fight, and one of them is like, God has told me that he is going to be teaching you a lesson, and I am the teacher. And it's like, oh crap! Wemby gives off those vibes, and I love it.
Yeah.
But Pistons. One of the things is they've had such a journey. It's hard. Again, I don't need to tell you this, Aaron. It has been hard. We were tracking how much money Wingstop was saving by having their promotion.
Yeah.
And not that the Thunder don't deserve to be a favorite. 64-18 is insane, especially given how we haven't really talked about how the NBA regular seasons
Rough, man.
It's been rough. MLB is catching up and surpassing them generally in ratings viewership. And that was with all their and that was like, again, now we're post Bally Sports, but not to play myself out. Pistons have everything ready. Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh, to your point, the NBA really does need some positive momentum in these playoffs. So, like, injuries to the Lakers stars and stuff is not great. Yeah. They do really and it's always been about the playoffs for the NBA, so I expect it to be really, really good. But it has been a rough regular season, even for diehards, and there are some adjustments that'll have to be made, and we'll talk more about that at another time. For picks purposes, I do have Wemby because you're right, Josh, he learned the secret to inner peace from Master Oogway or whatever was going on, and
he learned from Ra's al Ghul and
monks, and he is outstanding. But everybody always stops there with the Spurs. I love the Spurs because of their guard depth. It is fantastic. You know, I don't think there's another backcourt depth-wise that I like better in the league. When you have Fox and Castle and Vassell and Harper, you have energy, you have depth. I love the depth that these guys have when it comes to the guard play, and it just plays so well for Wemby. They built this team for him. This is not a hodgepodge group of players. And you guys could very well be correct. It's just a year too early. There's nothing wrong with the team. They just don't have experience. And I'm terrified of that potential second round matchup against the Nuggets, because that is the one team that the Spurs have really, really struggled with. And the one guy who can really nullify Wemby to the extent that that's possible is Nikola Jokic. And we're not taking him into consideration probably enough, because that man could just go nuclear. And the Nuggets we didn't mention them. None of us did. The Nuggets absolutely are in the bubble to win a finals as well. So that second round terrifies me, actually even more than the Spurs playing OKC.
Yeah, because they kind of beat them up during the regular season.
Exactly. So it's really, if I see the Spurs survive that test, that is where they grow up. In that second round matchup against Denver, to me, they overcome that. I think they win the finals. And that is why I have them as my pick. I think that goes 7 with Denver, by the way, but they beat the Celtics because the Celtics have no answer for Wemby. That one could be over in 5. And that's no dig on the Celtics. There's no one on the roster for them to do that with. So I'm going to have the Spurs over the Celtics. I think that'd actually be phenomenal for the league. You have one of your like core brands in the Celtics, and here's your new face of the league, announcing his coronation, if you will, with that championship over the Celtics. So that'll be my pick. My Cavs, I'm hoping for a reverse psych, and they maybe get to the finals, but I don't care who's out of the West. They're not beating them if they get to the finals, and I'm pessimistic against Detroit and Boston too.
Yeah, we'll see. Josh, I want you to be right. I very much want you to be correct.
The guys spent hours scrolling social media, and they found some pretty dumb stuff. Now they want to talk to you about it.
Do they need a guy on weekends to like walk around random McDonald's and like dressed as a Grimacy? Because I'll take that.
Are you okay
now.
saying bad things about the British?
Good luck. It's time for What We're Following.
Oh, the internet. Josh, are you following anything positive? Let me start by asking that question.
The play-in music was a little bit louder than your vocals, so
sorry about that.
That's okay.
Are you following anything positive?
Is it
neutral?
It's intriguing.
That's okay. So we're just going to be negative. That's what I'm hearing.
It's going to be negative.
All right, good.
Yeah, you guys are going to be real. So I'll save mine because mine I can spin into hope.
Okay, good, because we can't spin ours into hope at all.
I see both of you guys are a little. It's going to be it's going to be a little Festivus airing of grievances for you two.
Correct. Jonny, would you like to go first? Get this off your chest.
Because I didn't even want to follow this one because
I guess so.
I had to tell people who this team was yesterday because I'm like, yeah, you're familiar. Who? Yeah, sorry, it's the team that swept.
You're right. That
a decade ago.
Josh, you're reinforcing my point.
Yeah.
Last 10 games, Blue Jackets, 5 total points. 5. And I'm surprised it's even that. With your life on the line, your playoff destiny on the line, and I know they're not even technically eliminated yet. They will be shortly. Don't you worry.
It could be by night's end.
The Flyers could lose out, and the Blue Jackets would still lose to the Capitals.
Yes.
So, get out of here with that. I'm so sick and tired of this, and it's not even Bonus's fault. If you don't follow the Columbus Blue Jackets, I should have started with that. I apologize.
Oh yeah, sorry. It is.
They are one of the least known teams of any professional franchise because they're the ones that matter the least when it comes to the most innocuous franchise that exists in any of the Power 4. Yeah. In any of the forgettable main 4 leagues, nobody even knows they exist. It's worse than the Jets. It's worse than the Browns. I'm sick of it. And it's not Bonus's fault. He got hired mid-season. They had dug a trench that they had to dig themselves out of because they kept blowing third period leads. At one point, and I think we talked about it on the podcast, they were +5 in the first period. They were +3 in the second period. And they were -29 goal differential in the third period. I don't know where to go. I'm like exasperated. Aaron and I will just interact and, I can't watch every game and I'll just see the score and we'll be up like 2-0 in the first period. And I'll be like, frick, we're in trouble.
Dang it.
Like I'd rather be losing. That's what this team has done to us because the number I wouldn't love, but I need to see the number of drop points that this team had. They're going to miss the playoffs by 2-3 points, most likely. Something like that. After missing by 1 point last year. And last year we were like, okay, cool, man. Like we weren't necessarily expecting that, but not just Blue Jackets fans. Everybody coming into this year they're a playoff team. Minimum wild card, maybe in the Metro. And they had it 2 weeks ago. The number got up to 88% chance of making the playoffs.
Yep.
It's infuriating. This is a team that is so well supported by the community. And it's just a waste, man. It's a waste. I'm not in the locker room, so I don't know what's going on, but I blame the players. Like this is on the players. You brought in a new coach. He brought in and has done everything I think feasible to bring it out of these guys. And they made that really great run to get back into the race. This is on the players, though. They need to take ownership of this. This is fully on them that you can't finish a game. You're up 3 goals going into the third period, a handful of times. And not only do you go to overtime in some of them you just straight up lose in regulation. That's absurd. It's embarrassing. They should be embarrassed. There should be new leadership in the locker room next year when it comes to the captaincy, because this has gone on too long, and there should be better expectations for this franchise with the support it has. And we complain about the ownership, but the ownership actually spends some money.
Yeah.
So this is not just a cheap ownership Cincinnati Reds issue, Cleveland Guardians issue. This is a well-supported team that can't get out of its own way. And it's just, it's permeated not only the locker room, but the fan base and the city, to where we're just waiting for what can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah.
And it's New York Jets, Cleveland Browns territory starting to get with the Blue Jackets. Not that they're that awful, but that what can go wrong will go wrong mindset of the franchise. And once you get there, that's a stink that is hard to get off of you.
Mm-hmm.
I see the rest of my time.
I mean, this team got booed last night during fan appreciation night. Yeah, they laid an absolute egg. And you know what? They don't even have the decency to get knocked out of the playoffs just quickly and just rip the Band-Aid off. No, the Hurricanes are beating the Flyers 2-0 almost end of the first period. Like, the Flyers are going to lose tonight to give us a chance tomorrow, and then maybe the Blue Jackets will even win that game somehow in a shootout in the dumbest way possible, and then the Flyers will win.
The Bruins played their backups last night.
Yep.
The backups. You're playing for your life.
Yep.
You just need to beat the backup. The Bruins don't care anymore. They're in.
Yep.
And you win that game even.
Yeah. Then you control your destiny tomorrow for us. Yesterday for you all. I'll just keep the negativity just pouring out. We all love the Calgorithm, right? Cal Golden Bears. Well, it turns out the Calgorithm doesn't like the Calgorithm because per Rob from Chester, Pennsylvania, which I don't think he's probably the original source of this information. No, actually, it's Jeff. I'm probably going to butcher his pronunciation, so I apologize in advance. Jeff Ferraudo from Sports Illustrated. He is, as I pull up his Twitter bio, the co-publisher of Cal Bears on Sports Illustrated. He's a columnist for West Coast Conference Hoops, does a bunch of writing. So basically, Cal Athletics walks in the door to wherever that door is and says, hey, all of you 25 or so people that work in the marketing, athletic communications, and creative services, you guys are gone. Thank you. Goodbye. And it's part of a strategy for a, quote, complete redefinition of how we operate. I would like to know what that definition is, respectfully, because what on earth are you thinking? Like, are you just going to are we at the point where Cal, because it's in Berkeley, just thinks that AI could do all this? What are we doing?
Aaron, that's exactly the thought process.
Probably. Oh my goodness. They're wrong. Infuriating. Like, these are probably great, hardworking individuals who did the best they could with a team out in Cal that's in the wrong conference. It's not their fault that the Cal Golden Bears are in the Atlantic Coast Conference. You're going to have some marketing issues when you're playing half of your games 1,000 miles away. Like, oh man, it's crazy. So, you just have your presidents make the dumbest decisions possible, and then you take it out on the people that are probably the hardest working within your organization. Because typically, communications folks and creative services folks are extremely hardworking, work a ton of hours, and don't make a lot of money. to do something they love, to promote the team they love, to get you out there on social media, to tell the world, hey, this is our team. Come check this out. This is what we got going on. This is why you should root for us, like the algorithm. The whole thing. Just Thanos snapped, basically. So Cal, I kind of am praying for your downfall a little bit. Not like the football team necessarily, but just the athletic department. What are we doing? Like, I need to see you come out with something brilliant. If this was your strategy, you better have the best trick we've ever seen up your sleeve for something like this. So that's my time. I'll cede it to Josh now. Take us away.
All right.
Please be neutral, Josh. I mean, I didn't really, even know. I'm sorry, just real quick so we can just get rid of the negativity. I'm going to have a lovely summer. That's sarcasm if you're not catching it. Because the Crew, who are off to a terrible stretch, best player on the team, new designated player signing. Last night, Sunday Night Soccer, Wessam Abu Ali tears his ACL. I mean, the season was already done. I just texted Josh and Aaron, though, and I was just like, well, season's over. Yep. So I get no hockey. The Cavs are going to go out early. The Crew are just dead on arrival. And U.S. soccer, it's going to be awful. Anyway, go ahead, Josh. I just didn't want to be negative after you.
I got a good way to exit if you can't, Josh. So I'll save us here.
I'm curious. Go ahead, Aaron.
No, it needs to wait till the end. We need a positive note.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. There are whole entire states that hate Kim Caldwell. Kim Caldwell. Guys, if you haven't been following women's college poops, you probably haven't really been following the Lady Volunteers. This is, of course, Tennessee's women's college basketball team. If you're familiar at all with WNBA, or not WNBA, women's college basketball, you're probably going to remember a coach called, why can't I find her? I have, Pat Summitt. We loved Pat Summitt. Very sweet, very good coach. 8 national championships with Tennessee. She unfortunately contracted Alzheimer's and died too soon. And in the meantime, Tennessee has tried to replace that type of legacy. You're not going to do it immediately. That's okay. But there was a chance they had someone in Kim Caldwell. Caldwell brought Marshall to their first March Madness tournament last year. She brought a championship to her previous team of Glenville State. And we went, okay, maybe something's going to happen. She brought the number 2 she had the number 2 recruiting class in the in women's hoops. And then they lost by like 50 to South Carolina. Sorry, not 50. 43. My bad. 43. Yikes. A game which afterwards said, oh yeah, the players just quit. What? Hey. 43 points is not bad. At some point, here's the thing. Here's why they bring Caldwell in. Caldwell does subs like hockey does subs, in that she will throw a group of 5 out, and they'll go all out. They'll go nuts on the court for 90 seconds, maybe a little longer, and then she'll pull that entire 5 out, and she'll throw another group of 5 in. And it worked at Marshall. Worked at what did I say? Glenville State. It's not quite clicked. And it's not quite clicked in that as of last Tuesday, every single player transferred.
Yeah.
No player remained. A crazy a crazy offseason. There were calls for Caldwell's anything and everything. Tennessee is generally Tennessee we've known to be pretty chill about how they feel about coaches.
Always.
The issue is Caldwell's buyout is like $8 or $9 mil. Women's hoops, first year coach. Women's hoops, even though it's Tennessee, is still not. They're not bringing in the type of money that's going to justify that type of buyout unless boosters are there.
Not 1 year in.
Not 1 year in.
When it wasn't a horrendous year, by the way, it wasn't what they want.
Right.
It was not to the level with results that are just like devastatingly bad.
Yeah, it's Caldwell has called this the worst year for a professional career. I believe that's true. She says the players later on, I think it was after their first round exit to NC State, she said the players deserved better. This is not what I wanted to give them, that type of thing. She kind of calmed down halfway through the season as far as like blaming players and going, hey, you should play my weird system. But they also did. I mean, they've just had a crazy season. Their senior guard was dismissed in November. Two arrests within 4 months. You're not allowed to do that. Their fifth-year guard, Kaya Wynn, left before the postseason. Something around what she's calling a breaking point. It was just a weird year. And so what I was planning on talking about was how bad everything's been for Tennessee and being like, hey, let's just see what happens. And then Aaron and Jonny both had their things. And so I went, all right, has anything happened? And yes, there have been 2 transfers.
Oh, good.
We got Avery Mills transferring in from Liberty. Led the team, 15.3 points per game average, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Naomi White is also coming from Northern Arizona. She also led her team in scoring, averaging about 20 points.
Okay.
Big Sky Freshman of the Year.
That's a start. Yep.
That's something.
She better get some depth. I mean, that's what I'm hearing, though.
Beyond
like, she
2
wants
people
to be,
agreed.
Yeah,
I think she should probably get at least 3.
Not that she's going to get a lot of big name like transfer portals with that system, but like she's got to get like a lot of depth because also heaven forbid injuries, which happen. Like she has to have 12 quality players that are actually going to play. And every coach says that type of thing. But let's be real, like usually it's 8 guys or girls really on the floor most of the time. She needs legitimately 12 players that she can play real minutes on the court, which is wild to be looking for and going to cost a fortune.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've already had 2 transfers. We have some potentials, but the issue is it's like, well, we really got to. Potentials is fun to talk about when it comes to a team like Ohio State on any of the areas. The rest of Tennessee's athletics, even when it comes to collegiate dodgeball, it's like, oh, let's see what type of options we have. When you have when you have everybody leave.
It's an indictment.
Everybody from a D1 and not just D1, it's SEC D1 who are trying to upend this all Big Ten all the time dominance that has been in college basketball, at least for the men's. And I know on the women's, it's there's a little bit more diversity. But still, there is pressure to go, hey, we need to go toe to toe with all the big players. Maybe try and make sure UConn doesn't do something cool every single year for 45 years straight. You have to get five good starters and then a bunch of people who are really good. Because what are we talking about? Caldwell's most likely going to run some variation of her system next year.
Yeah, I don't know if that's feasible. I don't think it's
right now it's
feasible
not
long
feasible.
term.
I don't.
It's not
think
feasible long term to run that system.
I don't
It
think
just
so either.
isn't. I think
but
at that level, it's just not.
It's
You
not.
can play with real depth. You can't have hockey lineups. Like Kentucky even tried this with John Calipari. You guys remember this?
Yeah.
I can't remember which team. I think it was with the Harrison twins.
Yes.
They tried that hockey style lineup because he had just not even just the number one recruiting class that year. It was like, we have 5 NBA players basically on this team, to where he wasn't even putting his best 5 out in each lineup. He was trying to space them out almost because we'll just overwhelm people with our depth. Even he, I think 8 to 10 games into the season we can't do this. We have to get back to our regular type of rotation. It's going to be about 8-9 deep at max. And we're going to have to go for it that way. It's not sustainable long term. It's just not.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it would also be, and what's nice is she has a full off season to wrestle with that. Part of the reason she was hired was because she became known for this system within women's hoops. So I'll give her a little bit of leeway on this because it's hard to change. I'm not saying that that's your, you no longer have to, but as someone who's had to develop his own system when it comes to like running bands and stuff, it's hard to both recognize, hey, some of these things aren't working, and then to go, okay, cool, let's reset. And so there's a pressure now. In reality, you're most likely getting a lot of 18 to 20-year-olds. Or breakout stars in mid-major or group of 5 schools that just aren't used to playing the slaughterhouse of an SEC schedule. Hey, this is the only time you get a compliment SEC. Take it. Enjoy it. It's heavy. So, but we have 2 transfers. 2 good transfers from mid-majors. A Big Sky Player of the Year. And a whatever Liberty's in this time. Whatever they happen to be in. I don't even care. We're getting there. 2 down. 3 to go. Transfer portal is opened.
Yes.
So let's go.
Yep. I'm going to keep up what I think is positivity with 2 things to close us out.
I gave a sliver of hope.
Number 1, our former friend of the podcast at Paul Hembo on Twitter gave us this delightful note. The Houston Astros are 0-8 in their last 8 games. In that time, they have allowed 64 runs and issued 51 walks. It's the first time in 18 years with a streak like that. So I love that. That's right. That trash can. Josh.
Let's go.
And then finally, the Artemis 2 returned. That was unbelievable.
Let's go.
Awesome.
So just like, I don't need to say anything additional than that, that's already being said, but that was just
all of my computer and phone backgrounds are now some variation of the mission.
Yeah.
Lots of moon pics, lots of Earth pics.
Yep.
I am going to become an astronaut so I can podcast from space.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Or drum.
All right. Listeners, viewers, as always, thank you for being here and supporting the show. Again, a reminder, next week we finish our alternating mock draft. Jonny and I we'll talk NHL as those playoffs also kick off this weekend, and we'll deliver whatever else the sports world gives us this week. So for myself, for Josh, for Jonny, for producer Chris in the void, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. We will catch you all next time. Have a good week.